You know that feeling, right? You're rewriting your prompts 3, 4, maybe even 5 times just trying to get something usable. You get these answers that sound so confident, but they're just completely wrong. It is probably one of the biggest frustrations of using AI today. But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't some deep flaw in these billion-dollar models? What if it's just a simple gap in how we're talking to them? Okay, let's really get into this. After tons of testing, the verdict is in. The models, for the most part, aren't the issue. The real problem, the thing that's costing you hours every single week, is the massive gap between a vague prompt and a really specific one. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at the new AI landscape, because things have changed a lot. Then we'll dive into the core rules for getting exactly what you want. We'll see those rules in action with some real-world examples, get a quick reality check on the pros and cons, and finally, we'll talk about how you can master this whole conversation. First up, the new AI landscape. Seriously, to get why prompting is so different in 2026, you have to realize we've completely ditched the training wheels of 2023. We are dealing with absolute beasts now. I mean, the difference is just staggering. Just a few years back, it was all text. The AI had a tiny memory, and its knowledge was basically frozen in time. Fast forward to now, and these models are multimodal. They can see, hear, and speak. They have a massive working memory, and they can grab real-time info right off the web. So let's break that down. First, multimodality. You've got models like GPT-4o, and that O stands for Omni, that aren't just reading text. They're processing images, audio, and video. Second, their memory, what we call the context window, has just exploded. And third, their reasoning ability is on another level thanks to new techniques and live web access. And check this out. The speed is what's really wild. 232 milliseconds. That is the audio response time for GPT-4o. To put that in perspective, that's literally the speed of a natural human conversation. This isn't just some chatbot anymore. It's a real-time conversational partner. And this chart just perfectly illustrates that leap in memory. Early models, they could hold about 8,000 tokens. And a token is just a piece of a word, maybe a few letters. But now, Claude can handle 2 million tokens, and Gemini is up to 10 million. You can literally feed these things entire books, and they'll remember everything, from page 1 to the very end. And finally, we have reasoning. You've probably already figured out that asking an AI to think step by step just makes it smarter. This is called chain of thought prompting. And it's not some advanced trick anymore. It's standard practice because it forces the AI to show its work, which makes a huge difference in accuracy. Okay, so we know these new models are incredibly powerful, but how do we actually control them? Well, that brings us to part 2, the core prompting rules. Think of this as your guide to getting the results you want every single time. We boiled it all down to 6 essential steps. 1, be ridiculously specific. 2, put your instructions right at the front. 3, use examples. Show, don't just tell. 4, make the AI show its work. 5, trim the fat and cut out the fluff. And number 6, frame the role. Give the AI a persona to work from. Rule 1 is hands down the most important. Be specific. I mean, the difference between write a poem about AI and write a short, inspiring poem about AI in the style of Maya Angelou, focusing on human potential, is the difference between getting generic garbage and something you can actually use. Every detail you add is like a guardrail for the AI. So here's the bottom line. Think about it like you're giving directions. You wouldn't just say go downtown, right? That's useless. You give specific streets and turns. It's the same principle here. The less the model has to guess, the better your result is going to be. Now, let's jump to rule 4, because this one is a total game changer for any complex task. Just by adding the phrase, let's think step by step, you activate the AI's advanced reasoning. Seriously, in our tests, adding this one little instruction to a logic problem took the model's accuracy from a total coin flip to nearly perfect. All right, enough theory. Let's see this stuff in practice. Part 3, prompts in action. This is where the rubber meets the road, and we see how these rules deliver real results. Take a look at this research example. The bad prompt, tell me about renewable energy, is going to get you a boring, generic essay that you have to waste time digging through. But the good prompt, list 3 major solar breakthroughs from 2020 to 2026, explained in 1 sentence each, gets you a targeted, usable summary that's ready to go. You get exactly what you needed. Okay, here's a classic logic problem where AI almost always messes up.
If you just ask this question straight up, the model might just make something up, hallucinate an answer. Its accuracy is basically a 50-50 shot. So what happens when we apply our rule?
Well, the fix is unbelievably simple. You just tell it, check step by step. And boom, the model is forced to think it through. It realizes the sum of two odd numbers is always even, and it correctly says no. The accuracy just goes from a random guess to perfect. Every single time. And for anyone who codes, here's a fantastic little hack. Instead of trying to describe the function you want, just start your prompt with a coding keyword like import. That one word is like a secret signal to the model, telling it to immediately switch into high-quality code generation mode. It's a tiny trick with a huge impact. But of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So for part 4, let's get a reality check on the good, the bad, and yeah, the hidden cost of using AI in 2026. So the good is incredible. New models are generating complex code from a single sentence, and custom GPTs lets you package up your best prompts for reuse. But the bad? Well, hallucinations are still a thing, and there are security risks like prompt injection, which is basically tricking the AI into breaking its own rules. And the cost? Well, every vague request, every fluffy phrase burns compute resources, which directly costs you more time and more money. And all of this brings us to our final section, mastering the conversation. Look, prompting isn't just a neat trick. It's becoming a fundamental skill for pretty much any professional. This is your path forward. So here's your action plan. First, just experiment. Pick one task you do all the time and spend a little while crafting the perfect prompt for it. Second, build a library. When you write a prompt that works great, save it. In third, stay updated. Yeah, the tools are changing fast, but if you master these core ideas, you'll always be ahead of the game. Let's end on this thought. All these techniques we covered, being specific, using examples, forcing step-by-step thinking, that's the difference between fighting with an AI for 10 minutes and getting exactly what you need in 30 seconds. The people who master this skill, they're not going to be replaced by AI. They are going to be the ones who use AI to do things nobody else can. The only question left is, are you ready to be one of them?